everybody. Thank you for joining us at Jamaican Fire Cuisine. Right now, we're going to start by showing you how we wash and prepare the sea moss for our gel. Right, so this is the first step is to separate and start cleaning the sea moss. So as you stay tuned with us, so we will show you step by step, and hopefully this video can help you. And I will talk as much as I can. It's my first time making a video, so hopefully you come, you watch, you like, and you subscribe, and I hope you enjoy. Basically, what you're seeing is me washing it multiple times because it's very dirty. You also see me picking out some stuff like rocks, and we take off like packaging, like a lot of stuff that's inside of the sea moss. As you can see how dirty that water is, which means I gotta wash it another 3 or 4 or 5 times in order to get it clear. And then the moment we get it clear, we're gonna put it in an ice bath so that it can expand the sea moss. So as you stay tuned, and I'll give you more information as we go along. So basically what you're looking at right now is them in an ice bath. So that's what it looked like, and this is where we are. So basically 10 minutes has passed. As you can see, the difference between soak and unsoak. So the one on the right is the one that is soaked, and the one on the left, it wasn't soaked for 10 to 15 minutes. So now you're gonna see how we prepare for the next step, which is to boil it or steam it, or if we call it back home, scald it. That's right before boiling, but the water has to be extremely hot. So I'm gonna show you what our next step is, which is probably transfer from the pan into the pot. As you can see, the pot that I'm gonna use is gonna be a 20-liter pot, and we're gonna transfer the sea moss from there into this pot, and then we're gonna boil it, and I'll show you the steps that we take. As you can see, we just put it on the stove, starting to let it heat up and boil, and I will show you the next step when that happens. Just stay tuned and enjoy. So as you can see now, if you look closely, you can see the steam coming out. So I'm just gonna give it a quick stir, right? And as I give it a quick stir, you're gonna see more heat that's gonna come up from it. So right at this point now, I'm gonna stir it, and there's no foam on top, so which is a good sign. There's a little bit of foam on top. So at this point now, you're gonna add a taste of water and make sure it's not salt. And then you're gonna throw off that water, and then you're gonna have a fresh pot of water in like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Voila! Right? So now we have a fresh pot of water, right? And we're gonna turn on back the stove. We're gonna let it start going up to a boil, and as it start the process of going to a boil, I'm gonna show you what we need to add inside. Now there's only 3 ingredients that I use. Well, 2 ingredients. The third one, let's keep it. So 3 ingredients you're gonna see. So the first ingredient that's gonna go inside this pot, right, is going to be cinnamon sticks, right? And we're gonna add in cinnamon sticks as I just did there. We're gonna add in a little bit more because we need about 3, maybe 4 cinnamon sticks for a 20-gallon pot. So that's kind of what you see me doing right here. Then after that, we're gonna add in some allspice, right? So you're gonna see maybe that's gonna complete the 4. And then we're gonna add in the allspice. Now the allspice, the allspice is very, 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 very good for you. It's as good as the cinnamon, and it's as good as the sea moss. Because what we're making is superfood, right? So cinnamon preserve it for a very long time, and the allspice also help with the smell of the sea moss, because the sea moss can smell very, very bad at times, right? So just stay tuned, and I'll keep you more informed as we go along. So right now we're gonna add in our third ingredients, which is going to be gum. As we call it back home in Jamaica, we call it gumarabi. It's actually gonna make it a lot thicker for it to turn into a gel. But if I was making it for a libido purposes, because sea moss is also very good for like high blood pressure. It's good for also boosting your libido, right? So kind of replacement for like Viagra if you take it properly, right? It's also a superfood. So we're gonna put in the gum because we wanted to turn it into a gel, right? So it doesn't take away anything from it. All it does is just makes it a little bit more solid when it transfers into a glass jar later on. But I'll show you as we go along. I will keep you informed. So right here, you're gonna see me stir the pot. Do not laugh at my spoon. I love my spoon. You have to use wooden spoon because you don't want to use metal or plastic. Wooden spoon is always the way to go. So as we stir it, the reason we're stirring it is so that the gum does not get stuck on the bottom of the pot, right? Because it will burn. So we're gonna stir it, make sure the gum keep moving. Also check on the sea moss and make sure it's burning down properly. I put the spoon across the top so it can prevent it from boiling over. And trust me, that did not work. So whoever told me this was a straight up liar. It literally boiled over same way in the stove. I'll show you as we go along. Actually, let me speed it up so you can see what I'm talking about. So right here, you'll see if I was keeping it at Lovido, or it would be like for a drink like Irish moss or whatever. As soon as it started boiling, that's where I would stop it, because I want all that white foam that you see on top of the pot. That's like really, really good stuff. So that's what you want. But because we want the gel, we're gonna make it boil a little bit more. But as you will see here, as I was mentioning earlier on, that the spool across the top is supposed to stop it from boiling over. That was a lie. That was a lie, my friend. No, sometimes it does work, but trust me, it did not work for me. And me using a small spoon right there did not help at all, because when I pull it, it came to it. And I figured that out after. So look what happened. And here we go. And I tell you, cleaning up was not fun at all. Look at that. I had to grab my next spoon, as I have sitting across from there, to stir the pot so you could break the heat from boiling over. But trust me, that was so bad, man. Instead of the spoon stop it, I lost the spoon instead. But you know what? It's okay. It was a very clean spoon, and it's my wooden spoon. I burn it and I sanitize it all the time, so it did not do anything. So I just draw for the bigger one and just keep stirring and keep stirring till it breaks. And as you can look right there, you see all that white stuff. I tell you right there, you blend it up with some peanut and some oats, and right there you get your libido booster. You get your peanut punch, or aka we call it back home Irish moss, right? So you'll see the color change because we're going to a gum, right? We're going to the gel, so you'll see the gum kick in right about here, right? And then you'll see the color change in the pot completely to like a brown color. Now this brown color, right, we need that brown color to go down even deeper into like a red color, because it needs to be a gel. And sea moss naturally gets gummy or solid when it cools, but we want it to be even more jelly after it cools. So we put in the gum, we put in the cinnamon, we put in the allspice, and we also put in glass. Now glass is something that we call back home. I'll leave the proper instruction in the description when I'm finished. But boy, oh boy, I love this thing. This is the best superfood you could possibly think of. It's very good for man. It's very good for a lot of things. So right there, as you can see, that's where the gum is. And now we're going to start the process from that to transfer over to the bottles. As you can see, all the bottles are already sanitized. We also going to have to show you the blender, because everything has to be blended and strained before it goes inside. So you're going to need this blender right here. So let's pause the video and take a look. You need a 10-liter blender, and it has to be hot and cold, and also glass, because we want to make sure there's no plastic, because plastic has all kind of bacteria on it. Glass do not. So once you wash glass, you will always have it clean and fresh and ready to go. No bacteria at all. So what we do is we're going to transfer it from the pot into the blender, and we're going to blend it out. Right? We blend it out to nothing. So right now I'm using a soup ladle, or what's the proper word, soup spoon, just to transfer it over, because the sea moss is right now, it's extremely hot. I do not know the full temperature, but I will put it in the description. And to how hot it is if it touches your skin, it will take it off completely. So you want to make sure you use anything that you're using at this point on is going to be metal or glass. Now glass get extremely hot, but you have to, most glass are set up properly. So You'll see as I blend it and I'll bring it across, I transfer it into a plastic jug because I didn't have a glass one, to be honest with you. But this plastic is also treated, so it won't break down, it won't release any form of toxin, and it's also very, very clean because I make sure I sanitize all my stuff before I start. So you will see as we go along. So right here is when you see me with the plastic, and it's, it's fairly good, and you're gonna see me transfer it into the jars. Also, with this particular jug is very, very easy to work with. That's why I love it so much. So the glass one is going to get too hot in your hand, you won't be able to use it, and you're going to have to put it down and pick it up and put it down and pick it up, or hold it with something. This way you use the plastic for just a couple of seconds just to transfer it from one. So here is when I pour it first, right, into the jar. That's hot. You have no idea how much that's burning my finger. So right now, this is where it's like show you when it's done. It's completely done, and I'm pouring my last few bottles. And for a 20-liter pot, I end up making 96 bottles. I was trying to make 100, and I was short 4. Is it 4 or 3? So 97 jars I got, right, out of the 20-liter pot, which is very good. All right, so I'm gonna show you an example when I pour it first and what it looks like when it pour into the jar at first, and what it looks like when it cools in the jar. You're gonna see the big difference and the color difference. So right here is when I just pour it, as you saw me pour it, and then that one is when it's cool. So the one on the left is when I just pour, the one on the right is when it's somewhat cool, the temperature is down. And then I'm going to show you another example on when it's like completely cool. And there it is. See how red it is? It's perfect. Well, thank you for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this video was very informative for you. Like, subscribe, and follow.